Okay, picture this. Your cat, perfectly healthy, always indoors, suddenly gets really sick, high fever, trouble breathing, and then the vet says, bird flu. Sounds like something out of a movie, but it's actually happening. H5N1 avian influenza started showing up in domestic cats in 2025. There was this really chilling case. 2 house cats in New York City died. Turns out they ate raw pet food contaminated with the virus. So, okay, let's unpack this. We need to dive into how this H5N1 strain is actually getting to cats, what it does to them, and, the really important part, what you can actually do to protect your pets and yourself.
It is fascinating in a pretty concerning way how fast this specific virus, H5N1 clade 2.3.44b, that's the technical name for this particular variant, how
Right.
quickly it's jumped species barriers. It's causing really severe illness and, honestly, a lot of heartbreak for cat owners.
Right. So how are cats typically getting infected? I mean, we know about eating contaminated stuff like raw chicken or unpasteurized milk. We saw that in South Korea with shelter cats, and those cats in LA that got sick from raw cow's milk.
Exactly. Ingestion is a major route. Hunting infected wild birds is another obvious one for outdoor cats.
But what about indoor cats? You mentioned cases in Colorado where maybe the owners tracked it in on their shoes. That seems different, less direct.
It is, and that's a key point. It suggests the virus might be more persistent in the environment or finding sneakier ways to spread.
Huh.
This clade 2.3.4.4b seems better at that. And when cats do get sick with H5N1, it's often brutal, very fast.
Okay, so the obvious signs are fever, lethargy, not eating. Then the respiratory stuff kicks in, like nasal discharge, difficulty breathing.
Yes, and often pneumonia and neurological problems too, stumbling, tremors, seizures, even blindness. It progresses incredibly fast.
How fast are we talking?
We're often talking about rapid decline and, sadly, death within maybe 2 to 4 days.
Wow. And the death rate? You hear numbers like up to 70%. For this specific clade, almost 90%. That is staggering.
It is shockingly high. Cats seem uniquely vulnerable, sometimes described as exquisitely sensitive.
Why? What makes them so susceptible compared to, say, dogs or even us?
It seems to be down to their biology. They have a high number of specific receptors, like docking points for the virus, in their respiratory tracts and intestines. H5N1 targets these really effectively. And what's also worrying is researchers are finding unique mutations in the virus taken from sick cats.
Mutations, suggesting it's adapting.
Suggesting it might be adapting to mammalian hosts, yes. Lab studies show cat cells can even act as mixing vessels, potentially creating new, maybe more dangerous variants, perhaps ones better at attacking the nervous system.
Okay, that potential for adaptation, especially with pets we live so closely with, that leads straight to the big question, doesn't it? What about us? What's the risk to people?
That's the crucial question, naturally. And the good news, relatively speaking, is that there haven't been any confirmed cases of anyone catching H5N1 directly from a cat. Even during a large outbreak in cats in Poland back in 2023, none of the human contacts got sick.
Okay, so the risk to the general public is still considered low.
Yes, very low. Most human cases worldwide have involved really intense close contact with infected poultry or, more recently, dairy cows. Not pets, but, health authorities like the CDC and WHO do advise caution. Avoid close, unprotected contact with any sick animal, including cats.
Right. Sensible precautions.
Yeah.
So let's talk about those. What can cat owners listening right now actually do?
Okay, practical steps. First, if possible, keep your cats indoors. That stops the hunting and scavenging risk.
Makes sense.
Second, and this is really, really important, absolutely no raw meat, raw poultry, or unpasteurized milk or eggs. Cooking kills the virus reliably.
So that whole raw food trend for pets, it's a definite no-go right now.
It's a confirmed risk factor, yes. Not just for H5N1, but other pathogens too. It's just not worth the risk.
Okay.
Third, basic hygiene. Wash your hands thoroughly after touching wild birds, poultry, farm animals. Maybe change your clothes before you interact with your indoor cat.
Just reducing any chance of bringing it in.
Exactly. And finally, watch your cat closely. If you see any signs, lethargy, breathing issues, those neurological signs we mentioned, call your vet immediately.
And tell them about any possible exposure, right?
Yes, definitely mention it. And isolate the sick pet from other animals in the house while you wait for advice.
Got it. And what about myths? We touched on the raw diet one.
Yeah, that's a big one. The raw is healthier idea is just dangerous in this context.
It's almost ironic people trying to do the best thing.
It is. Also, claims about holistic remedies preventing or curing H5N1. There's absolutely no scientific basis for that. Relying on them is incredibly risky.
So stick to veterinary advice.
Absolutely. And one more point. You sometimes hear extreme suggestions, like getting rid of cats to protect people. Health authorities do not support this. Cats are victims here, not the primary threat to humans. Sensible precautions are the way forward.
Okay, so it sounds serious, but manageable with the right steps. And we're not totally in the dark here, are we? There are tracking efforts.
No, definitely not. There's active surveillance. Labs like Cornell University have launched things like a feline flu tracker, government agencies, USDA APHS, for example.
That's the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service.
That's right. They're all part of a network monitoring H5N1 in cats, looking for changes, tracking spread. It gives us vital information.
It really highlights that connection, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. This whole situation reinforces that one health idea, the concept that human health, animal health, and the environment are all deeply linked. When we understand what's happening in animals and take steps to protect them, we're ultimately protecting ourselves too.
So knowledge is power here. Knowing the risks, knowing the symptoms, knowing the prevention steps. That's our best defense against the virus, and frankly, against fear and misinformation too. Stay informed, talk to your vet, check trusted sources like the CDC and USDA websites. Taking those proactive steps isn't just about protecting your cat. It's about being part of a bigger effort to keep everyone safer.